Okay, good evening and welcome to Iyun with Benzion, special Motzei Shabbos edition. Usually during the winter, I do these Motzei Shabbos year, more time, less formal. My Nautica sleepwear shirt on. I am wearing pants, Nautica sleep pants. The weather's still pretty nice here in Israel. I understand when I stand in New York and New Jersey, it's not so nice. I want to talk about today's daf Kesubos Sadi Dalid, number 94. The Gemara towards the bottom, last three lines of Sadi Dalid and Aleph. Let's just say an easy case, right? Two people have a deed on a property that was sold to two people, and it says the same day that he sold the land to two people. Now, obviously, there's only one property. He swindled one of them. He wanted to get paid twice for that. Who gets the property, right? The guy's gone. We can't collect from this guy. How do you just divide the estate? Rav Amar Cholk, and he says the shtaros are equal. They both say the same day. You divide it equally. You sell the property, divide it equally. Shmuel Amar Shuda Daini. Now Rashi says Shuda Daini all over Shas. Shuda Daini means let the judges figure out, right? I'm selling a property to Reuven and Shimon. I'm the swindler. So I'm selling to Reuven. I'm selling to Shimon. I'm friends with Reuven. I hate Shimon. So the Dayanim can figure out, probably, I sold to Reuven. I try to swindle Shimon, So it makes sense. So therefore, give the whole property to Reuven, not to Shimon. That's what makes sense. That's Rashi's explanation. Tosfos on Pei Amud Beis, when the Gemara first brings Machlokes Rav and Shmuel, I'm quoting from Tosfos here on Pei Amud Beis, Shuda Daini, Diramascha Shuda Daini, Lo kapirish hakunchish kapirish yamdu hadayanim daito shal nosim yirtzon litin yoser el omer rabbeinu tam shadayin yitain lemish yirtzeh. You're a judge. You're on the Supreme Court of Israel. You get to decide who you want to give it to. I like Shimon better than Reuven. Now, even though this guy's friends, I'm friends, Benzion Lang is friends with Reuven, not with Shimon. Presumably, he wrote the real star for Reuven. He meant to give it to Reuven, but I'm the judge. I don't know. Yair Lapid, he's a Supreme Court judge now. Yair Lapid decides to give it to Shimon because he's friends with Shimon. So you can give it, according to Tosos, the Dayan can just do whatever he wants with it. Hard to understand. Rashi makes more sense. It should be fair. He should give it to the person who presumably, Benzion Lang wanted to give it to. Not whatever Yair Lapid decides he wants to do with it. You can't just do what you want. It's not really fair. Now, there's a Gemara on Sadi Dalman Beis, which seems to indicate like Tosfos. It's a brisa. I think it's quoted from Gittin. Where is it from? Gittin Yudalit. In the middle of Sadi Dalman, the Gemara is trying to bring Machlo, try to understand. One brisa seems to indicate like Rav's opinion, Cholkin. And we pass him like Shmuel, so where do we get that from? The Gemara says Tnaihi. The Sanya, V'cham Omrim Yachlok. V'kan Amru Mashir Zashlish Yasa. They said in Babel, which is how we pass him. The case is that someone sent money to somebody else. And by the time he got to somebody else, Reuven sent money to Shimon. By the time he got to Shimon, Shimon had died. So if he goes back to Reuven to return the money, Reuven had died. So who gets the money? So we don't know. Did Reuven mean to give it to Shimon even if he died, to give it to his heirs? Or he wanted it back? If it couldn't be given to Shimon, he's not going to give it to his heirs. He'll take the money back himself. So Chacham say we split it. We don't know what to do. Shmuel gets his source from this opinion. Kan Amru and Babel, they said, this person, the agent, this trustee who was supposed to give the money, he can do what he wants with it. Now, it doesn't say he should reflect, he should try to figure out who did Reuven like this guy so much that he'd be willing to give it to his heirs even if he were to die. That would be like Shuda Daini of Rashi, but Rashi is really stuck over here because this is Shmuel's source for Shuda Daini. Whatever he wants to do, indiscriminately, he can just give the money to whoever he wants, to Reuven's heirs or to Shimon's heirs, whatever he wants. Or to somebody else, maybe. I don't know. He can do whatever he wants with the money. Hard to understand. Sounds like Tosfos. Rashi's position seems to make a lot more sense, in terms of a fair legal system. But this Bryce, which is a source for Shuda Daini, it seems to be a Tanaic source for Shuda Daini, seems to reflect the opinion of Shmuel. So, in order to answer for Rashi, we'd have to figure out and to explain Tosfos. Now, if I was answering for Rashi, I would say like this: that Rashi would answer that case where I gave money to an agent. When I give money to an agent to give to somebody else, technically, the money now is in his reshus, it's in his domain. He doesn't own it, but he's in the domain. When you're a shlish is not someone, he's not a shliach. I don't say a shliach. A shlish is a trustee, right? You put it in someone's fund, an escrow fund. You put it in someone's fund, in their bank account. It's in his domain. It's in his rishus. So therefore, in that case, Mashir said, yeah, I said, because it's already partially in his rishus. So we don't know now. Both parties don't have a claim to it. So it's in everyone lost the buy list. The owner lost the buy list. He died. So who gets to decide? The one who is rishus, whose bank account in a sense. So that Rashi would say there. But when it comes to, right, the case the Gemara talked about before, if someone wrote 2 deeds to a property, he sold it to, we don't know who he sold it to. Why would Beis Din just be able to just give it to whoever they want? You can't just give it to whoever they want. Beis Din doesn't own the property. Tosfos would answer, yes, that's true, because there is a concept that Beis Din, Hefker, Beis Din, Hefker, a Beis Din, a real Dayan, on the Supreme Court of Israel, Hefker, Beis Din, Hefker, they can appropriate land from somebody else. They can make it Hefker. They can take someone's land and make it ownerless, right? If the government doesn't like the fact that there are settlements in some place, there's pressure from other governments, in the settlements, they could just take the land away from the Jews, or they could take it away from Arabs. I'm not getting the politics over here, but just for an example, a court, right, who has jurisdiction over a certain area, they can take away property. The Torah believes in that also. Hefker, Beis Din, Hefker. The Gemara almost talks about that. They can make it Hefker. And there is a machlokes in the Achronim. I heard from our Yonasan Sachs many years ago. Does Hefker, Beis Din, Hefker mean they can make it Hefker? Or maybe additionally they have the power not just to make it Hefker, but also to make it Hefker, to remove the property of someone else's ownership, and to give to somebody else. Does the power of Hefker, Beis Din, Hefker extend if you give it to somebody else? Tosfos would learn that he has to learn over here in the case where you wrote 2 deeds to an apartment, to a house, to a property, that Beis Din not only can be mafkir, they could also give, and that's how you would answer. And Rashi would say no, they have ability to be mafkir, but who says it's fair to give? You can't just give someone else's property to somebody else. You can take it away if you need the land for roads or highways or whatever, but to give it to somebody else, that's not fair. That's not fair. Tosfos says that's fair. Beis Din, Supreme Court in Israel rules. a lot of power here in Israel Supreme Court. So, so they could do whatever they want. So that's how you'd say the machlokas. It turns out the machlokas Rashi and Tosfos are really arguing about this machlokas achronim, whether Hefker, Beis Din, Hefker gives the ability, according to Tosfos, you have to say it gives them the ability not just to take away land from people, actually give it to land people also, if as they say fit. And that's the koach of Beis Din. Like the Gemara says that on the bottom of Sayyid Al-Manal, Rav Nachman said, "I'm a daina. I'm a Supreme Court judge. You're not." Rav Sheshes tried to overrule. Rav Nachman overruled Rav Sheshes. Rav Sheshes was a rabbinical judge. He was on the Dayanim. That was a point, the Rabbanut over here in Israel. But he's not a Supreme Court judge like Rav Nachman, the Supreme Court. So he could overrule Rav Sheshes. So that's what happened over here in the Gemara. Because Rav Sheshes doesn't have power to give to. He works on the Rabbanut. He can't just take away land. But Rav Nachman was Supreme Court justice. He can take away land. According to those, he can even give it to somebody else. Also, interesting how that machlokas achronim turned out to be machlokas Rashi and Tosfos over here by Shuli V'Daini. Hope you enjoyed tonight's shir. See you in the next one.